Hi. How is everyone? This does not feel like a normal Sunday stream, but here we are. Before we get started, I just want to give the normal disclaimer of I am not a mental health professional, so if you are in immediate need for mental health treatment, please make sure that you are getting that. I'm just giving advice and insight based on my experiences or the experience of other people that I have interacted with. I do have an associate's in psychology, a bachelor's in 2 weeks in forensic psychology, so I'm super excited about that, but I'm still not a licensed mental health professional. So I'm just waiting for people to get in here because I'm not going to lie, I'm feeling weird. I'm feeling nervous. I'm feeling a little out of the ordinary. Oh, look at them. Look at David and Aaron flirting already. You guys came and do it behind my back? Come on. Oh, okay. I just have to breathe and give people a chance to check in. Oh, thanks, Jamie. All the love right back. So right now we're kind of waiting, but it does get kind of crazy in here. So if you're wanting to make sure that I see a message, please make sure to use the super chat or super sticker function. It will highlight the message, or you can join as a channel member and you get a highlighted message per stream. And every single time that goes toward my mental health outreach. I'm not going to lie, I wasn't able to do much in the last couple of weeks. I've been a little busy. I've been a little crazy, but I am so excited because that just means that I'll be able to do more over the coming weeks after school ends, and I have a little bit more energy to focus on it. David says, thanks, Aaron Butler. I do feel purdy when Amanda is around. Well, I'm glad that I can help you feel purdy. Thank you, Emo Man. Tony says be on shortly. We're just getting the housekeeping out of the way, settling in a little bit, letting everybody have time to get in here. I forgot my water. Dang it. Oh, Jamie says your channel makes me feel like a new person. Well, I'm glad that I can help you, feel better. Not like a new person, but maybe like the best version of you. That's how I like to think of it. I don't think I have ever been in a position where I've logged onto a stream with absolutely no idea of what to say, because I'm going, okay, this could go in a lot of directions right now, and I didn't think it through too much. As a matter of fact, I was just putting the wins in SnapCup right before this, and usually I have it done way in advance, but my brain's been a little scattered. So yeah, I'm feeling a little out of my element, and that is not par for the course. So who all is here? Obviously David and Aaron and Jamie. Lass, hello. Lass, leave likes, peep. I actually wonder, because I realized that the last short didn't get pushed out to a lot of our subscribers and our pack, and I'm kind of wondering how many people are just going to be sideswiped. No, David, of course, no, nothing big happened. No big life events or life-changing news or anything. Of course not. The lie detector determined that was a lie. So I'm actually going to start with the good news story, which feels kind of weird because just share the biggest good news story, but I'm not really knowing what to say until people start checking in. Thank you, Jamie. Until people start checking in. Actually, I'm just going to write this down on a scrap of paper here and keep track of it that way. I forgot to say, we have the goal of reaching 250 in donations and pledges for the stream. And that ends up, like I said, going toward my mental health outreach, so I can help people in the community pay for therapy, or we've helped veterans realize their final wishes. We threw a birthday party for an elderly widow. So just doing different things to encourage people, empower people, inspire people, build them up. and help them with their mental health. So thank you for reminding me of that, Jamie. Thank you for your pledge. If you are going to make a bigger pledge, I highly recommend doing so through Venmo or PayPal. The information is in the stream description. Look at me, you can't talk. That's going to happen a lot. The information is in the stream description, and that way YouTube won't be able to take the fees, and all of that will go toward the outreach and stuff. And I have my email up here to watch and add that to the total. So I'm going to read a good news story while people get settled in. People find us and get settled in. Oh no, that story is no longer available. That's weird. I've never had that happen. I'm telling you, everything is just all wonky today. Let me find a different story real fast. Actually, this one makes me happy. So I found out when I was sharing my good news with one of my best friends, I found out that she quit smoking, and that made me really happy. She's one of my childhood best friends, and my dad passed from emphysema. So when I hear of people quitting smoking, it means a lot to me, especially when it's my best friend, because I low-key worry about people. I try not to be very pushy, but I do worry because I sit there and think, I don't know what I'd do if I lost someone close to me. Like if I lost a best friend right now, or even losing people here in the community just crushes me. So when it's somebody that I've grown up with and I'm very close with, obviously that is really, really hard to cope with. So this was just really good news this week. So I'm going to read this story that pertains to that. So NHS England hopes to save thousands of lives with a pill that helps smokers quit. Experts say once a day varenicline, I think is how you say it, tablet reduces nicotine cravings and side effect from cutting out tobacco. I love that they bring that up, by the way, because a lot of people don't talk enough about the side effects of quitting tobacco. And I'll get more into that in a minute because I saw that firsthand with my dad when he quit. Hundreds of thousands of smokers will be given a chance that increases people's chances of quitting in a move that NHS bosses believe will save thousands of lives. About 85,000 people a year in England will be offered the chance to use varenicline, a once-a-day tablet that experts say is as effective as vapes at helping people to kick the habit. And obviously a lot safer, I'm hoping. Amanda Pritchard, the chief executive of NHS England, hailed the pill as a potential game changer in the fight to tackle smoking and the huge harm to health it causes. The drug helps people to quit by reducing their cravings for nicotine and ensuring that it cannot affect the brain in its usual way. It has also been found to reduce the side effects smokers can experience when they stop using tobacco, such as trouble sleeping and irritability. The NHS in England will give varenicline as part of its efforts to keep driving down the number of people who smoke. A decline in smoking rates over the past 20 years means that only 11.6% of adults in England still have the habit, around 6 million people. Health service bosses hope its use will lead to 9,500 fewer smoking-related deaths over the next 5 years. The drug, known at the time as Chantix, began being used in 2006 and was taken by about 85,800 people a year until July 2021. It then became unavailable after the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, which regulates drugs, found impurities in it. It's not 99.7% pure, apparently. That problem has now been addressed to the MHRA's satisfaction, and it has recently approved a generic version of the drug, which NHS England will use. It cited research by University College London that found it would save 1.65 pounds in healthcare for every pound it spent on the pill, which is something else incredible. That even if they at a discount or stuff or whatever, they do a generic version of this, it's still saving money in the long run because less people are going to be using their insurance if they have state-funded insurance and stuff. But as I was saying with the side effects, so my dad definitely became super irritable to the point of where my mom literally slammed a pack of cigarettes on the table after he quit and said, "Smoke them or get the fuck out," because he was just such an ass. Like, he was just being such a dick. And obviously he realized, wow, okay, I'm really out of control. I'm just really being overtly aggressive. And he was able to address that and talk to his therapist or his mental health professional. I don't know if it's a therapist or counselor or psychiatrist or whatever, but his mental health professional, and get that under control, and was able to cold turkey 3 packs a day after he smoked from the time he was 12 until he was in his 50s. I believe he was 55. So he quit smoking. He cold turkeyed after all that time. But yeah, there really was a lot of irritability and a lot of other side effects that came with that, and people don't talk about it enough. Okay, back to the chat. Tony says, Colin is beyond excited for you. I saw Colin's happy dance and it made me giggle. Les said, are you on Blue Sky yet? Well, I can't be now, can I? Oh, thank you, David. David said he'll keep track of donations. Thank you very much. Headsick Nation says, it's been a while since I last saw you live. It's been a while since I've said hi. It has been a bit. Hello, welcome back. Oh, now I want to go to Denmark. Y'all are talking about traveling and stuff, and now I want to go. Sharpshooter was thinking about Cabo San Lucas. Oh, I need a vacation. Sharpshooter says, expanding my cooking skills would be a very nice objective. Yeah, I hear that it's a pretty lucrative skill to have. David says, I remember doing the math on how much my roommate spent every month on cigarettes. That alone was enough for me to never smoke. My dad had actually done the math for, and this was crazy that my parents sat down and they did the math for how much my dad spent from the time he was 12 until he was 55. So the whole time he smoked, because he always smoked a fairly high amount. So they averaged it out and then adjusted for inflation. And it was literally enough to pretty much buy a house. It was insane. I don't remember the exact number because I was fairly young when it happened, but I remember it just being this ludicrous number. Especially now, it's so expensive. I went to a gas station not too long ago, and I wasn't buying cigarettes, obviously, but I was looking going, holy God, this is like $10 a pack. Who can afford that? I remember thinking that $5 a pack, because I smoked for a bit when I was a teenager, when I was younger, which broke my dad's heart. And I deeply regret it, but I have not smoked in a very long time, well over a decade now. And I just remember thinking that $5 was end of days, and now it's significantly more than that. David Lynch had a recent interview where he said he needed oxygen to walk because he started to smoke at age 8. My dad, like I said, started around age 12, and he could not walk from the couch down the hallway into the bedroom where the bathroom stuff was. He ended up sleeping on the couch, and they got hospital bed in the living room because he literally couldn't walk down the hall. And we had a small house. We did not have a big house at all. It was just a very, probably a little bit less than average house, and he couldn't even make it from the living room to the end of the hall. And he was on, it was way too much oxygen. He was getting nosebleeds and stuff, but it was over 10 liters. I don't remember how much it was, but it was something like 14, 15 liters of oxygen, which was just unheard of, even function at all. He couldn't survive. And even with that, he could barely make it down the hall. So I would just never, the journey that I have to look forward to, I wouldn't want that life that is ahead of me, and I'm really glad that I quit. And I know it's not easy, but it is so, so worth it now. Oh, my dad passed away in 2005, Sharpshooter. I've never been to Denmark. That's one of the places I hear that it's a very happy place to go. But I have just never made my way there. I've had a lot of other places that are on my list, so I've never made my way there. But it is someplace I'd like to go. I would just have to have a reason, I suppose. I'd have to have a plan, some sort of a plan, a loose plan, but still a plan. I don't even know where Aalborg is, obviously, somewhere in Denmark, but I don't know. I just realized I don't know the cities of Denmark. I don't really know a whole lot about it. Jason says, oh, I have had a week for you. I guarantee you it's not topping my week, sir. Oh. I feel like there's actually a lag in the chats right now. And it's tripping me out a little bit. I think my chat might have froze, actually. I don't know. My internet and my computer have been a little wonky lately. I don't know why that is, but hopefully we don't have any issues like we did a couple weeks ago. Obviously, I'm at home. I have strong Wi-Fi as far as I know. The Wi-Fi is not having any issues, but it seems like there's a little bit of a lag on. Oh my gosh. Y'all didn't tell me that my hair is all crazy in the back. Didn't tell me that I look like I've been sleeping, like I just rolled out of bed to get on this stream. David, you're fired. You're fired. You're not keeping me young and beautiful here. Sharpshooter says, my father passed away in 2021. My mother passed away in 2023. The holidays are going to be very hard for me. I remember the holidays the first several years after my parents passed. So my mom passed in 2007 and my dad had passed in 2005. And it took me a long time to really have anything whatsoever to do with the holidays. I mean, I feel like I did some stuff, but it was just going through the motions. I would put up the tree, but it was just because I was trying so desperately hard to feel close to them, to feel close to my parents. But I just resented the hell out of Thanksgiving and Christmas. As a matter of fact, when my mom passed away in 2007, she passed in June of 2007. And that Christmas, I ended up going and seeing Sweeney Todd on Christmas Day, which I just rewatched not too long ago. Aaron had never seen it, so we watched that. But I ended up doing that on Christmas Day because I just felt dark and resentful, and I didn't want to be all cheerful and holly jolly. You know, I wanted to be Grinch. I wanted to be all bah humbug. So I think that there's something to be said for doing the holidays on your own terms when it comes to things like this. If you don't feel like celebrating, don't celebrate. If you feel like you need to be around family, like that will help you to go to the family get-togethers and stuff, so that other people can be there for you, so you can connect to loved ones, then do that. But I always highly suggest having, number one, some strong anxiety coping mechanisms, because there are things that can come up during movies or during events and stuff that can be really hard to deal with. And whether that's just going to another room and breathing, whether that's having a stress ball or something to help you through, whether that's stepping outside or even leaving, that's perfectly okay. And for me, I have to have those conversations with people in advance to say, hey, I want to come. It's really important for me to be there for you, but at the same time, or be there with you, but at the same time, I'm just feeling really overwhelmed. I'm not sure how long I'll be able to stay, and just set that precedent, you know, for people. But if you don't feel like celebrating at all, if you feel like sitting at home and watching horror movies and that's how you're going to get through the holidays, you do you. You do what you got to do to get through that time in as healthy a way as possible. Jason Mead says, I'm still hooked on cigarettes. I've tried every method of quitting available and have continued to fail. And I worked treating cancer patients long enough to know what is in store for me. It's really a difficult thing to kick. I know that not everybody is like my dad that can cold turkey 3 packs a day. And I don't think you failed. You just found a lot of ways that didn't work for you. And you have to continue exploring until you find one that does. And sometimes I've seen people have a lot of success with, say, I think it's Wellbutrin. I've seen people have a lot of success with hypnotherapy for smoking. There's a lot of different options out there. I'd be happy to talk to you if you want to email me and see if we can brainstorm together, because that is something I'm very passionate about, is helping people quit smoking. So if there's something that I can do or something that I can personally help with, I'd be happy to do that. So my email is in my video descriptions, this one, and the descriptions of the reactions and stuff. So Jason says that addiction is so much worse than alcohol. Been sober for 12 years. I agree. I very much agree, because I think that alcohol, this is my reasoning at least, alcohol, you would be in a certain setting. Like I'd be at home, or I'd be out to a restaurant or out to a club or something. So there were certain settings where I drink. It's not like I'm just going to drink while I'm at the park. It's not like I'm just going to drink while I'm out, going for a walk with a friend or something. But cigarettes are so much easier to just incorporate into everything, into every aspect of your life, that it becomes more, for me, it was like I had to find ways to override the actual just physical habit. I had to find ways to override that oral and manual fixation. Lana says boo hair looks good. Oh, here we go. Now we're getting a lot of more messages. And David says, wait, I thought I was just responsible for your teeth and lipstick. Oh gosh, don't make me self-conscious about that too now. Saul, better call Saul. Saul77 says, hi, love it all. Great to see Panda. Are you in a tiny room? It's kind of messing with my tiny spaces sphere. Not too much though. I'm outside in the free breeze. No, I'm not in a small room. The room is kind of double almost what you're seeing. So if you look from like this wall, this is like a third of the room. So if you're looking at this wall to here, actually that's like a quarter of the room. So it's a pretty big office. It's not a enclosed space. And there was one, what's it called? One of my friends did a promotion for them recently. I think it's called Fume, that they are a replacement for the oral fixation from my understanding. We had been talking about collaborating as well. The details, but if you haven't looked into that, that might be worth looking into. Oh, Last says, I'm not giving out random advice, but I bought, is it Fume? And it helped me quit. Cool. I'm glad that I could be somewhat telepathic there. Amy says, hi all, from Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. I do hope that you're in good health and humor today. Lots of love and fun to you. Yours sincerely, Slave Amy. I hope that you don't feel like that, because I know what it's like to just feel like you're kind of a slave, either to the system or to the daily grind or to someone else. So I hope that we can make you feel a little bit more free. But hello, Amy from Australia. And I believe that I'm in good health and humor today. I very much do. With everything going on. I'm telling you, anybody that hasn't seen the new short needs to like pause the stream, mute this tab, go over, watch the new short, and then come back, because I feel like there's quite a few people in here that haven't seen that. So go do that and then come back. Steven says, I think addiction is part of everyone, just how you direct it. Einstein was probably obsessed with physics and knowledge, addicted to it, so to speak. You're absolutely right. And I think there is a way even to take things like that too far. If you become so addicted to something like that, that you completely ignore the other aspects of your life, anything can be taken to an extreme. But I think the main things that are toxic chemicals that aren't really having any benefit on you, like drugs or like cigarettes, those are the things to be concerned about. I feel like everything else is kind of, let's be mindful to make sure we're not going overboard, but there's certain things we just really have to either avoid or cut out depending on where we're at in our journey. But I do think that everyone has some kind of, I like to think of it more as a vice as opposed to addiction. Everybody has a vice, whether that's a positive vice or a more destructive vice. Oh no, Tony's trying to start the debate on whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I don't think it is. I will die on that hill. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. It is a movie that takes place during the Christmas season. But I know that that is one of those big things that people will debate about to the end of time. So feel free to just beat me up. Feel free to just beat me over the head. Oh, yeah, David, you're right. Seeing Bruce Willis go like this is pretty sad. I've never been the biggest Bruce Willis fan. Like, I've never really followed his career particularly. I really liked him in Sixth Sense and a couple of other things, but it's always really sad to watch people who were once so strong, who were once so resilient, lose the battle, to different diseases, be them mental or more physical like that. Although mental is physical because our brain is part of our body. Daniel Bell says, the only trip I've gone on to Europe was to Ireland for 6 weeks. Holy cow, I've never been on any vacation ever for 6 weeks. But now that you mention it, that sounds lovely. That sounds divine. Ooh, oops. My thing, I was trying to scroll down and it just went last says, fume is the bomb if you need to kill smoking. If you are nicotine addicted, pair it with patches. Thanks for the tip. I hope that helps somebody. David says, I had images of Amanda going full ladies prison warden drill sergeant on Aaron Butler and B as they learned their moves. I'm not going to lie. So here's a little bit of a backstory. So I'm going to be posting follow-up videos to that short because I think it kind of warrants it. But here's a little bit of a sneak peek backstory. Is when I was a teenager, my best friend in the whole world told me that I couldn't dance. And because of that, the only dance I ever went to, I never went to school dances. I never started picking up dances when that became a trend, on social media or anything. I've never danced. I don't dance in front of people. I don't participate in social things that involve dancing. Like I've never gone to a club and said, yep, let's dance. The only exception being my ex-boyfriend. I had dropped out of school already, but he was a senior, and his gay best friend ended up kind of pigeonholing me into going to prom. So I ended up going to prom with him and felt wildly uncomfortable and wildly self-conscious. So I had this trauma already surrounding dancing. And then obviously you guys know, a lot of you guys, if you've been here a while, know the trauma I had surrounding pregnancy and babies, particularly baby girls. So the video kind of had a double entendre, which most people didn't know about. Most people didn't know the dance story. So I will be talking about that too when I do follow-ups to it. But yeah, it was a way of not only being able to share that with everybody, but it was also a way of facing this fear. But I will tell you, so much anxiety was coming up while we were doing that, while we were filming it. It was just so unbelievably stressful and anxiety inducing because number one, I wanted it to be really good for you guys, and I wanted it to be really good for her, and I wanted it to be really good for the world. But also because I was just so self-conscious because I had that tape stuck in my head. I had that limiting belief stuck in my head of you can't dance. You can't dance. And that was kind of going through my head. And every time I'd watch a take of it, I'm going, no, it's terrible. I hate it. I can't do it. And even when we watch the final take, it's no, I can't do this. I hate it. But yeah, there was a lot that went into that. David says the biggest debate is Ginger or Marianne. I say Ginger. I didn't even know that was a debate, but I'm going to go Ginger. Thank you, Tyler. Tyler just saw the short. Tyler listened to instructions. David says, when I try and dance, it looks like Frankenstein monster being tasered. I feel like I look like a child that's trying to shake a turd off their butt. If I try and dirty dance, that's what it's going to look like. And I don't even understand twerking. I don't get it at all. I don't understand the muscles that go into twerking. Daniel says Batman Returns. I loved that movie. What? Tony says WTF mental Amanda. What? What did I do? I don't know what I did. Oh. Steven says, I can twerk, just looks really silly when I do it. Spoiler alert, it looks really silly when everyone does it. Unpopular opinion, I don't think twerking's sexy, and that's coming from someone who's bisexual, so male or female, I don't think twerking's sexy. I think it's awkward, and I don't look at it and think, oh yeah, man, that really gets the juices flowing. No. Oh, David says Ginger or Marianne. It's the classic debate. Do you like the popular girl or girl next door? See, that's not really fair because typically I really resonate more with the girl next door. I think that it is a lot more attractive when a girl can look naturally beautiful, when she doesn't need to put on a lot of makeup. I will say that I like a little bit, but I want it to look natural. Like I want a girl to put herself together, but I want it to look natural. I don't want it to be the baby bop eyelashes and 6 pounds of contouring and all this crazy stuff that took 3 hours to get ready. That's not really my jive, but I just never found Marianne specifically attractive, but that's just my preference. Thank you, Lisa. Daniel says, I should have done a reaction to me listening to that short. I'm not a boy band fan. I actually considered asking people to film their reactions to watching the short at the beginning of it, just to compile them together so we could share in the excitement here on the channel. I thought about it. I really did. Citizen Soldier has a new song out about postpartum depression called Feels Like a Funeral. You should check it out if you haven't already. I don't think this is a good time for me to check out that song because I don't want that stuck in my head right now, but maybe down the line that will be an appropriate thing for me to talk about. So I'm definitely, David, can you add that to our list? Because I think that will be something worth talking about as it may or may not become more personally relevant. Steven, has Dimash responded yet? No, I don't know what's taking him so long. This is ridiculous. I never thought that I would propose to someone. They would take this long to respond. How rude. Ugh. Like he has anything better to do. David says, I finally discovered what twerking was when I saw a video where someone tied a wacky waving arm tube man head down to a pole. I just got that vision in my head. Thanks for that. Tony says Ginger, then again, I'm a sucker for blondes. Isn't Ginger a redhead? I'm pretty sure Ginger is a redhead. Or am I having a Mandela effect moment? Last asks if I'll do more reactions to Morbin. Absolutely. There's definitely Morbin on my radar. We are halfway into the stream and we have only made $2.79 in pledges of our 250 goal. Is that how we're going to celebrate this week? You know what? I'm gonna read some wins. I'm gonna leave you guys to your own devices here. I'm gonna read some wins for the week and see what everybody has. See what everybody has to say. See what wins I can share with everybody. I'm just actually, before we do this, okay, I'm gonna sing the song and then I'm gonna share a funny win about wins. So we're gonna start with the song. Snap cup time, gather ye round, friends and foes together, united and bound. Pass it to your neighbor instead of blowing up, and you'll find harmony and love in a snap cup. Snap. So fun kind of emotional story. So for the longest time, up until a couple weeks ago, I always had to have people screen my wins because there would be wins in there about pregnancy or about little girls and stuff. And I just wasn't in a place where I could read them. So this marks the first Snap Cup that I'm doing that I didn't have to have pre-screened. I haven't read them, but I didn't have to have it pre-screened for trauma stuff. So that's kind of really special to me and feels very healing to me. Thank you, Erin. Erin can't be the only one of 2 donations today. Thank you, love. RX Doc says, I reached out to a fellow community member while at a very low point. Again, thank you for the ear, brother. It makes me so happy to see people coming together and holding space for each other because that's what the community is for. That's what we're all about. So big snaps to you for being able to get past that low point and band together to hold space for each other and listen to each other. Let's see. Kylie Pashley says, I reached out for support on SPN fandom page I was in. What is SPN? I'm not familiar with what that is. Can somebody tell me what that is here in the chat? I ended up with a personal message from a Canadian fan. I'm Australian who also battles depression. I now have an awesome overseas pen pal and we regularly pick each other up. I love this so much because I think that different fandoms, be it music. I don't know what SPN is. I'm sure somebody will tell me. Oh my gosh, Jamie, thank you. Thank you so much. David, I hope that you're tracking that because I stopped tracking, but thank you so much for getting closer. But I think that different fandoms, be it, the horror fandom or the music fandom, or it doesn't even matter what genre, like NSYNC brought me and my besties together. I know me and David have bonded over Slipknot now. There's just different things that bring people together, TV shows, whatever the case is. I feel like it can be literally anything, but when you have that shared interest, when you have that shared passion, and you can also talk about, hey, like, I'm just like you. I'm living through the same things you are, or at least similar things. So we can share this happy part of our lives, but then we can also share this struggle. And I think that that's really awesome. So I'm glad that you were able to find that and have a new pen pal. I'm wondering if you mean actual handwritten pen pal or email pen pal, because I miss the days of pen pals. I loved getting letters. I still love the rare occasion when I get an actual handwritten letter in the mail. But big snaps to you. Kirk says, only 13 likes and 23 watching. Don't make me pull this live stream over. You know I will. Don't make me turn this live stream around, my friends. Thank you for sticking by me and playing Papa Wolf here, Kirk. Tony Travis says, 2 for this week, and 1 is a proud dad, and the other got square to my feels. The boys have had 2 tests apiece over the last 2 weeks, and they emerged with straight A's. Yay! One of Aiden's was in algebra. Ugh. And he has been putting the extra work to get better. So extremely proud of him for that. Both boys have been very well at their schoolwork. Proud dad right here. Second, I got a text message from Colin this past Thursday that read, I meant to send you this on Tuesday, but happy Veterans Day, Dad. I love you. Those boys are my world. That is so much just beauty right there. So big snaps to you for them working. I'm going to give snaps to them for working really hard for their A's, and then snaps to you for being able to have those beautiful dad moments and be recognized by your son on a date where you deserve to be recognized by the world. And happy Veterans Day to the vets. Happy late Veterans Day to the vets here in the community. I really appreciate the sacrifice that you have made to keep me and my family and our community here safe. So thank you. So snaps to the veterans here in the community as well. Oh, this is a long one. Okay, Donald Stefanovic says, I've been part of this community now for over a year. In a drunken depression, I found it. There was a sort of desperation to get through the coming minutes. I can relate to that. One of your reaction videos did that. Thank you. The live streams that followed helped me as well. At the beginning of the year, I went for a dry January. I did that, which led me to now being over 300 days. Yay, big snaps to you. That's awesome that you set for that 31 and now you're at 300, way overshot. So you just shot for the stars and hit the moon, actually. So you were kind of in reverse as the saying goes, but I'm so proud of you. I know that is not an easy journey. So big snaps to you for that. There's a what I've learned section here apparently where Donald wants to share some of the lessons, and I'm going to go ahead and read that too because I know that there are some people in here who have some of these struggles, so maybe this will help some other people as well. So Donald says, what I've learned. I was a fully functional alcoholic. The first 90 days were dealing with alcohol and the grip it had on me. Quote, first a man takes a drink, then the drink takes a drink, then the drink takes a man. Ooh, I've never heard that before, but it's really powerful. Another quote, 1 is too much and 10 is never enough. Very relatable as someone who struggled with alcohol. The next 90 days is dealing head on with the reasons I drank. Clarity and sense of place I belong seemed distant. Depression, anxiety, a normal state. I stayed the course. So we've got, I like this. The first 90 days is dealing with the alcohol itself. And then the next 90 days is dealing with the reasons, so like the emotions behind it. Okay. And it says the next 90 days was changing all I could, managing the things I can't, being the best me, the things you think you couldn't, but obviously I'm guessing to prove to yourself that you can. Waiting that to take hold was slow, and it seemed like I didn't have a voice. Now in this fourth quarter of 90 days, I'm reclaiming my voice, my life, and my meaning. From a year ago, my perspective has completely changed. It's crazy how much can change. I mean, even in the first 90 days, let alone a year, it is nuts how much can change when we make big life changes like this. My reaction's different, my thoughts clear, my voice deliberate, and sure, I've taken the hard road that many won't, and I understand why. It forges change, and that's downright painful. I encourage anyone hearing this to do it. If you feel stuck, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. I didn't swear off alcohol, and I'll probably drink again. It's just not for me right now. Not today, maybe tomorrow. I hope this can help just one person. I think that this is very much going to help and inspire people here that might be struggling with similar things, like be it alcohol or similar addiction like we were talking about earlier, smoking. But you do have everything to gain. And I like that you mentioned that you don't have to make that decision of I'm never, ever, ever going to do this again. It's I'm not going to do this today. And then tomorrow it's I'm not going to do this today. And if at one point you feel like you are in a place where you can responsibly do that, everybody's journey is different with things like this. I know obviously right now I'm not going to be drinking for quite some time, but I know that eventually one day, probably in May, I will be having a glass of wine, and I don't look at that as relapse or failure. I know that I just needed to separate myself from it, and I needed to take that time, kind of like when you get out of a relationship and you need to take time to kind of undo the conditioning that that person might have done to you, and then later you can come back and revisit whether or not you can have any type of friendship with that person. That's kind of how I feel with alcohol. Bye, Amy. I hope you have a good night or day. I think it's day there. Last is to the people who fight alcohol addiction, talk to your doctor and get Resolid. A cold turkey can actually kill you. Please don't just do that. Yeah, alcohol is one of the things that if you are heavy alcoholic, cold turkey can, for some people, have very grave consequences. So it is important that you are talking to a professional that can help you through that. Gabriel Loria says, on the 16th, I will be able to celebrate my 36th birthday. So yesterday was Gabriel's birthday. Happy birthday. Big snaps to you for making it another year around the sun and being able to see that as a celebration. So I'm happy that you were able to celebrate that and not just survive it, though. Surviving is important too. So big snaps for that. Rick James, Rick, are you in here? I haven't seen any messages, but I know sometimes Rick kind of hides out. Rick says, the biggest win yet. I'm here for it. I'm in the best physical and mental condition that I've been in almost 3 decades. Go, Rick. I'm so happy for you. I've really loved watching your transformation through the streams, through your wins, through your interaction with people here in the community. It's been really rewarding to see your growth and your healing. For those of you that don't know, Rick is also a veteran who came to the community and was really struggling with night terrors, with PTSD, things like that, and has really done a lot of work that I am very, very proud of, that he's come out on the other side of that darkness. And I want to say that I know veteran stages past. I know that can be really triggering for a lot of those who have served. And I just want to say that there can be another side to that darkness. So please keep fighting for yourself. You fought for other people. Now it's time to fight for yourself, and we'll fight for you because we care if your light goes out. So thank you very much, Rick, for sharing your journey, for sharing your wins. I love you. I'm very happy for this, that you're in that amazing place. Oh, Kirk says 2077 days sober. I decided I would not drink, or I would not drink in only 2 situations, when I was alone or with somebody. It worked for me. See, there you go. Big snaps to you, though, for 2077 days of sobriety. That is amazing. Congratulations. The Scorpio says, I cleared the air with a friend and salvaged a friendship. Got a replacement headset after mine broke. Endured nearly a week of insomnia that clawed at my sanity. That's so relatable, so much more relatable than you can imagine. And somehow still landed on my feet, and against all odds made it to age 44 on the 15th. Now to find the next mountain to move. I love that perspective of just got to find the next thing to overcome, because we'll overcome it. We'll get through it. I feel like a lot of us here are living proof of that. I'm very happy for you that you salvaged the friendship. Sometimes things can just get really stressful in a friendship. And I think that it's important because a lot of people nowadays don't see the value of talking it out, of being able to say, hey, we disagree, or hey, we're in different places. What can we do to find common ground? What can we do to feel heard in the friendship? What can we do to maybe get through something that's hard for the other person to understand? Because there's almost always understanding there if we're willing to talk and listen. So I'm very happy for you for clearing the air with your friend. I'm glad that you got a replacement headset. I know that you have a lot of online things that are very helpful for your mental health, that are really there for you, that are helpful to you. So I'm glad that you got that. I'm glad you survived the insomnia, because oh my gosh, insomnia is no joke. I've been struggling with it for over a year, and every time I think I find some relief, it just kicks right back up. And right now it's even harder because my hormones are all over the place and it's making me even more tired. So yeah, I can definitely understand how that just shreds your sanity. So I'm glad you landed on your feet. I'm glad that you also got another year around the sun and got to celebrate it. And I'm excited to see which mountain you move next. Rick James isn't here. Rick says, I'm here today, just kicking back. I'm wearing my camo. I'm trying not to be seen. Well, I am going to give you all, I just hit my Dexter thing. I'm going to give you all of the shine, all of Amanda's love. So thank you very much, Rick, for the pledge. And thank you for being here and sharing your wins, your journey, your accomplishments, and your struggles with us. It's, like I said, been really, really rewarding. So thank you very much for that. Also, Rick, if there are any other veterans in here that are struggling, Rick does make himself available to talk to veterans. So if you're wanting to connect with Rick, I can definitely do that for you. I can definitely connect you guys. So just message me over on Instagram or email me and I will make sure to connect you guys. Thank you very much for the pledge. Oh, Donald, thank you. Donald says, do one thing every day to be your best. That is one thing that has really helped me, is I think it's the Kaiser method, where it's do one thing every day. Maybe it's not even being your best, but it's moving closer to that. It's moving toward healing. It's doing something for you, for your healing, for your journey, for your mental health. And that might look like, I'm just going to make it a point to drink more water today. I'm going to make it a point to not smoke today. I'm going to make it a point to not drink today. I'm going to make it a point just to go on a walk. I'm going to make it a point to journal, whatever the case is. Excellent advice, just doing that one thing. Thank you very much, Donald. Oh, I pulled two at once. Oh, Aaron's right. He says, thank you, Rick James. You should go watch Amanda's latest short. Oh, has Rick not seen it? Has Rick not seen the short? Oh, I think we're about to have a Rick meltdown in 5, 4, 3. Yeah, Rick didn't respond, so you're right. He probably hasn't seen it. Rick, go watch the latest short and come back. We will be here. Oh, Gabriel left another one. So Gabriel left a second one. Gabriel Loria says, I practice self-care by watching a funny movie. Love it. That could be such a powerful thing sometimes, depending on where you're at and what you're needing. Definitely a good skill to have in the toolbox is just having something to laugh at, be it a funny movie or a comedian or whatever the case is. Love that, love that, love that. So sometimes it can be very simple, be complicated or expensive. Sometimes it can be very simple. For me, sometimes it's watching a comedy. Sometimes it's watching a horror movie. It just depends on what kind of self-care I'm needing in the moment. Rick says, I've seen it. Congratulations. Okay, just making sure that you aren't missing the news here. Okay. David Hess says, hey, Amanda, I'm having a hard time dealing with life after beating cancer, then flatlining and recovering from 14 surgery. Do you have any way of being able to talk one-on-one sometimes? Absolutely. You can message me on Instagram or email me. Both of those are in my video descriptions. So I'd be happy to hear your story and listen if you're not comfortable sharing here. But I can understand how that can be really jarring. That can be really anxiety inducing. So I'm definitely here to listen. Jake Smith says, I have limited my time on social media since the election has ended. I was doing it before the election even started. It was best for my mental health to stay away from it. Yeah, if you guys haven't noticed, I mean, obviously there's several reasons that I've been on less, but I also needed to take time from it. And it wasn't because I don't care. It wasn't because I don't think that policies are important. It was because for my health and someone else's health. And my mental health, I just needed to be away from that. There are more important things to me, and you can call me selfish for that. But I fought a long time to be where I'm at right now. And I just needed to focus on my own mental health. So I know that that is a huge, huge thing. So kudos to you for being able to limit social media. I mean, that's always a good thing to limit social media, but especially when things are very chaotic and very stressful like this. So knowing what's best for you is amazing. So big snaps for that. Ashley Carper says, I did not have a win per se this week. We're going to find a win in this. Watch this. I've been in a rage manic episode for the past few days. I work in a high-stress, toxic workplace that has been testing every bit of sanity I have left over the last few years. I lost control today and blacked out and started yelling at everyone that got in my way or saying stuff I normally wouldn't without thinking about it first. The only good thing is that tomorrow is a new day. See? Yeah, I didn't even have to look for a win in there because you found your own. Sometimes we lose control. Actually, I'm going to be transparent. Earlier this week, I absolutely lost my mind, and I was just really upset with everybody, and I was really aggressive toward everybody, even the people close to me, and I was really sad. I was just really dysregulating, but I realized that same thing that, okay, you know what? Maybe I need to get that out. Maybe it's a clear sign that I need to talk to somebody, that I need to somehow, if not physically distance myself from that environment or that person, then to find a way to energetically separate myself from that. So when you're in a high stress, toxic workplace, sometimes it's not possible to find another job or to leave that workplace, but finding ways to energetically protect yourself from that can be very powerful and very, very worthwhile to look into. So I'm just happy that you're able to see that tomorrow's a new day, that you can't sit here and and wallow in the fact that you lost control. Yeah, you lost control. You said things that you didn't mean. And there is that part that has to, okay, now we have to go back and kind of clean up from where we might have spilled some venom of our own, but it can be done. You know, you can mend those bridges, you can explain to people what happened, you can possibly have a productive conversation out of it. And I'm hoping that's what happens for you. But knowing that tomorrow's a new day and you can reassess what is best and what can be done and what you can do differently next time when you're feeling like that is all you can do. So I'm glad that you can see that. Big snaps to you. I'm not sighing at you guys, to be clear. I'm literally at the point where it's okay, kind of having a little bit of trouble breathing. Just as I have anxiety, but through counseling, I've been able to manage it, and I haven't had any episode in the last 2 weeks. I'm so happy for you. Anxiety can be crippling, and learning those skills on how to manage it, how to navigate it, how to mitigate it, that's always a great thing, a great place to be, is when you're learning to sit with that. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, but learning to either sit with it or lessen it, dampen it a bit. Awesome. I'm really happy that you have counseling. I'm really glad that you are learning those skills, and I'm so happy for your 2 weeks. So big snaps to you. David says, how would I be able to email you? If you look in the description of my videos, it has my email and my Instagram. Let's see. Master Ganja says, I managed to make myself go out for a bit, even though I prefer to be at home, and managed to make it home in time for the Eagles game. Love that for you. I'm glad you were able to catch your game, and that you're able to get out a bit. I know sometimes that when you're more comfortable at home, that it can be easy to stay there, but sometimes getting outside of your comfort zone can really help you grow. It can help you expand as a person. So I'm really glad that you're able to do that, but then come home and decompress and do something that you enjoyed. So big snaps to you for that. Oh, Tony says, I gotta go here, but want y'all to know that I'm here 24/7 to talk. I will not let your like, wow, I love you all. We love you too, Tony. David, thank you for dropping my email. And yes, life does begin outside your comfort zone. Let me tell you, sorry, I didn't mean to kick you guys there. I've been I've been navigating a lot of discomfort for a while now, and if I wouldn't have combated that, if I would have just stayed in my comfort zone, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't be experiencing this joy. I wouldn't be able to share that with you guys. It would be an entirely different journey. It would be an entirely different video that I'd be sharing. So I'm really a big proponent of being uncomfortable sometimes, learning to be uncomfortable, learning to sit with that discomfort, because that's actually a skill too, is learning to sit with anxiety, learning to sit with discomfort, learning to sit with those things instead of trying to change them, just accepting that this is here right now and this is where I'm at, but I can work through that. Huge skill to learn. David, where are we at on pledges? I want to see where we're at with our goal with 5 minutes left to go. And like I said, keep an eye out. I am going to be doing a vlog to follow up with the shorts. So I will be doing that, and I'll be releasing some other shorts that are related to that here in the next couple of weeks. David says, if I hid in my comfort zone, I never would have set atop Table Mountain in South Africa looking out at the Atlantic. There are so many things that I would have missed out on, all of my travel, because I had horrible anxiety. When my mom passed away, I was as agoraphobic as they came. I could not go more than like a mile or two from my house without having a massive panic attack. So there were a lot of things that were just impossible to me. And I had to start combating that. Instead of saying, okay, I am an introverted person, I can't leave the house, I can't do this. Instead of putting all of these limitations on myself, it was, how can I start working toward that? How can I work through that discomfort, that fear, that anxiety, no matter how crippling it was? And believe me, it was crippling. I had to start working through that because I said, I'm not living my life. And it really hit me at 30. I went, holy cow, I'm not living my life. I'm not accomplishing the things I wanted to accomplish. I'm not meeting my life goals. And that was kind of the last few years, be it this, be it school, which, like I said, I finished my bachelor's in a couple weeks. All of these things, these are all the things that my anxiety tried to take away from me, and that fate tried to take away from me, and that other people tried to take away from me, because I dropped out of school when I was sexually assaulted at 16. So there were all these things that the world, fate, people, my own limiting beliefs tried to take away from me. And this is me reclaiming them all. So we're at 142.47. So we're a little over 100 short of our 250 goal. So I'll stay a couple extra minutes and see if we can hit it and read. If anybody else has any wins that they'd like me to share, we are through our wins. But if anybody has any other wins that they'd like to share, I'd be happy to read them here on stream and give you snaps all the same. Dave says, sorry I got booted from the stream. Could be my new laptop. Like I said, sometimes technology is just weird. Sometimes technology just doesn't want to work in our favor. Like I said, I had that happen a couple weeks ago, and I was looking and the Wi-Fi seemed fine, but it wouldn't let me stay connected to the stream. Something smells really good right now. So I know that dinner is getting close and we are hungry. So yeah, I can't stay too awful long because I get hungry pretty easily and pretty intensely. So it's like I go from 0 to 100 in 3 seconds flat. So it's not only really quickly, but it's also really intensely. Like I go from I don't feel hungry at all to I'm starving and have to eat right this very second. So I feel like there's no in between anymore. Oh, I wish I had my lighter. I just want to light this candle. Gabriel, happy Sunday. For some reason, I thought Phoenix was 3 hours behind me instead of 2. That is because we do not have daylight savings, so it's quite possible that we were 3 hours. I just read your wins, by the way, so extra snaps to you in case you didn't hear them. But yeah, the time changes. We don't do daylight savings, so the time difference changes throughout the year. I guess I probably should have said something about that in the community thing, but honestly, I completely forget about it because, like I said, we don't do it, so I don't think about it. Oh, Rick says, let me know a few minutes before you end the live stream and I'll cover the rest of your money. I love you so much, Rick. Thank you for being here for the community and helping us reach our goals. David says, curious, do you need to change the vegan diet when you're eating for two? No, actually, I've talked to a doctor and a midwife, and it is still completely possible and healthy to be vegan. I have to be a little more cognizant because I have to up my protein, so I have to be more cognizant of the protein intake, but that's not really an issue. I've just been eating less of certain things and more of things that have protein. Oh, thank you, Rick. Rick's always there having our back. Seriously, thank you so much. I don't even know what to say. I'm excited to go out in the next couple of weeks and use the pledges from the stream, the pledges from the last one, and just do, I don't even know what. Like, I never know the person I'm going to run into. And it's really strange because I always worry, what if I can't find someone, to help out? And then I realize we are all struggling with some kind of mental health thing. And there's always something we can do to help people on their mental health journey. So I have not a single time had any kind of shortage whatsoever on people that just kind of fall into my circle, that fall into my lap, that can really use these pledges and donations. And I'm glad that we can do this on a personal level, because I'm just not one that's ever been big on charity. As far as organizations, I served Days for Girls, but it wasn't a financial thing. It was, I would sew these reusable feminine hygiene kits for girls with my group, and we would see those go to the women. So it wasn't, we're giving the money and hoping that it helps. We were sewing these kits, and I would see that kit with the fabric that I bought in the hands of someone who needed it across the world, like in Haiti or the Ivory Coast or Tibet, like in these different places. So it was always very, very rewarding. And I will help charity when it involves giving things, but I like to help people. We're $2.77 over our goal. And if you are watching this at a later time and you want to pledge to that outreach, you can do so through the Venmo or PayPal that's in the video description. And I will definitely give you a shout out on the next stream for that. Yes, Rick makes my day a lot, but you make my day a lot too, David. I should post David's reaction to finding out, because David did get a little bit of a sneak peek to the big news before I released it, and his face was just so priceless. Your face was so priceless, love. It was great. We love you too, James. Or we love you too, Rick James. My hair looks shinier. It feels shinier. Oh, gosh. So I hope that these streams really continue to help you guys, just to hold space for everyone. So the point of these is to just give everyone a chance to share their struggles, share their wins, because both are equally as important. And it's important that when we are struggling, that we connect to those little wins, even those little teeny tiny things that we're grateful for, or that we can do to improve our situation, just maybe 0.01%, just trying to move in the right direction. If you are needing more guidance, if you are needing more help, you can always check out my Happiness Boost course that's available. Link is in the description of my videos, or you can go to amandawebster.com, click on Happiness Boost, and you can check out that course. That's the steps that I took from being in that rock bottom place to being able to get my BPD, anxiety, depression, PTSD, all that stuff in a manageable place, in a place where I can thrive. It's not that I necessarily cured myself, but I'm in a place where I can thrive and I can really live my life to what I believe to be, especially now, its fullest. I still struggle. I still have challenges, but now I have a toolbox to deal with them. And if you're needing help building a toolbox, that's an excellent place to go. David says confusion, then jaw drop. It was so funny because my best friend had that exact same reaction where she's just kind of, and you just see her eyes just get really huge. It was like, gosh, was it Zootopia with the sloths at the DMV? And you just see him kind of go, I get really excited in slow motion. That was kind of David too. And you were just the cutest sloth, David. I'm just kidding. You're totally not a sloth. But if you've seen that movie, you know what I'm talking about. Daniel says that was exactly my reaction. I should have let you guys film so I could just make a collage of all of your reactions, because that would have been really amazing. I got some not so great reactions, and that was really hurtful because it's from people that really meant a lot. And that was really hurtful. So I would have liked to see you guys' reactions. So if you are watching this stream and you have not went and watched the short yet, go watch the short, the newest short. That it's gonna be and film your reaction. Maybe we can still post a few. Oh, Island Cat Dude says, hi, Amanda, watching from Guam, came across a few of your reactions and love them. My therapy is going to the local animal shelter, cuddling with the kittens. It's good for them and good for me. That is, I love that so much. I've done that too. You can do speed dating for the dogs at the shelter here. I haven't done it in a while, but I love it so much because you get to go and pet them and cuddle with them and give them treats and play with them for a while. And it's 15 to 20 minutes per dog, but you get to spend time with them, and then you get to write about their personality. So are they shy? Are they playful? Are they outgoing? Were they standoffish? And that helps them match them with a family that is a good fit for them. So I love going to the shelter too, but then it's really hard for me because I just want to bring them all home. I have a hard time not just bringing them all home. Oh, Steve says, would like to see more vids of Amanda out in nature, pictures, etc. Okay, I could do that. I can go post a lot of those on Instagram too. I try to post more stuff like that on Instagram when I'm out walking and out and about, because YouTube, I mean, there's the community tab, but I feel like people don't use the community tab of YouTube to look at pictures and stuff. So if you're not following me on Instagram, it's @MentalAmanda, and I'll try and post more stuff like that over there. Oh gosh, I really wish I would pour water up here, but I will be having dinner here in a minute, so I think I can wait another second. Vince Evans says, hi, Amanda, much love to you. I'm 3 months sober. My mental health has been way better. Snaps to you for your 3 months sobriety. I'm happy. It does get so much better. We don't see it when we're stuck in it, when we're stuck in our vices, when we're stuck in addiction, when we're stuck in the darkness. We don't see how much better it can be, but it does. It can get so much better, but we have to take action to make it better. So I've always struggled with the idea of it gets better. I did do a couple of videos for the It Gets Better project, but I've always struggled with that a little, because it gets better when we decide to make it better. It doesn't just get better on its own. If we keep making the same choices, we're going to keep getting the same results. So we have to make it better, but it can get better. I don't know what's for dinner, Steve. What's for dinner? It smells really good. I can tell you that. I don't know what it is, but it smells really good. But thank you guys for helping me meet the goal, for celebrating a little bit. I think as the rest of the community catches up, we'll probably be celebrating a little bit more in a couple weeks when we do the next stream. And then of course, I will be allowing everyone to be part of this experience. I'll be vlogging about it, posting shorts about it, posting about the trauma and stuff, everything that led up to it. There's a lot more behind the scenes that nobody has seen, that nobody knows about. So I'm going to be kind of working in reverse on this one. And I'll explain why as I do these videos, but I'm going to be kind of working in reverse and starting with the happy news and then going backwards through the trauma and the tribulations and the grief and all of that. So we're kind of going to work backwards on that. So stay tuned for that. But I am obviously going to do a community thing so everybody can be part of this as time goes on. Steven says, I like when I'm sober. I like how energetic I am, but then I typically have friends over that drink and I will just have a few drinks. Just hard to stop once you get going. For me, it's just fun. I'm not gonna lie, it's absolutely fun. And even with my other various vices that I've overcome, like cocaine and stuff, I'm not gonna pretend it's not amazing. It is, but it's a false friend. And I hope that if you would to talk to your friends and set that boundary and say, hey, this is where I'm at. I'm wanting to come back on this. I'm wanting to stop. I can't be around it. Being able to have that conversation with them. I had to do that. I had to explicitly tell friends that I wasn't drinking or I wasn't smoking, so they wouldn't offer me things or so they wouldn't do it around me, at least for the time being. It's a little bit harder on certain things, especially with cocaine. I just had to straight out ghost everybody that I knew had it or that was involved in that world, because I knew that if I knew they had it, then I would continue doing it. But yes, I love you guys so much, and I'm going to go feed us. Like I said, I'm really, really hungry now, but I will be posting a lot over the following months to catch everybody up on the journey. Good night, lass, or good morning for those of our community who are on the other side of the world. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here for me and being here to celebrate with me. I'm glad that I could celebrate your wins with you guys, and I will see you soon. Mwah.